Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Brewski in Helsingborg once again, and this is a beer that really kind of piqued my interest when I saw it come through Systembolaget. So we're going to have a look at the Snout Juice Imperial Stout today, which comes in at 11.5% ABV. It got a 96 overall on Rate Beer, and the main reason that this piqued my interest is that Brewski of course are more known for Imperial IPAs, double IPAs, fruit beers, all of these sorts of things. They do tend to focus more on the lighter side of brewing, and as I always say, you want to get a good scope of what a brewery is capable of. You want to try something from the very dark side of things and also something from the very light, and this is the first Imperial Stout I've seen from these guys. According to Rate Beer, they've only produced 3 or 4 different ones actually, so I'm really curious to see how they do with this style. But we know that Brewski are a very solid brewery, and I'm sure it will be a really quite nice beer, so definitely looking forward to this one, and I hope you guys enjoy my take on it. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews I've done from Brewski before. No doubt I will add some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. You can also search by style and all of these sorts of things too, but there is a playlist there for the Swedish beers if that's what you're interested in, and please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. Do let me know what your favourite Brewski beers are as well, and I'll promise you that in the future I will go on and review some of the beers from the Fever series. A lot of you have actually been asking me about that, and I just haven't got round to it yet. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Brewski then. So Brewski were founded back in 2014, and they're based, like I told you, in Helsingborg in the northwestern part of Skåne here in southern Sweden. But the founders of the company are Marcus Hjalmarsson, Johan Britson, Alfred Olsson and also Robin Skoglund, and all of these guys were inspired by the West Coast American craft beers. They really went over there and just loved what they found, so they decided to brew beer for themselves. So Marcus was originally associated with the High Nose brand of beer, which was brewed at the Brewery, which is a little bit to the northwest again of Helsingborg, and some of those beers are still brewed there, although all of the Brewski beers are now brewed at their own facility in Helsingborg, which I believe is in the old train yard. But this one actually has a capacity of well over 100,000 litres of beer per month. In 2016, Brewski also started their own festival, which is called Brewskival, and they invited over 40 different brewers to attend that. It was a big success, so there will be another one this year in 2017. Hopefully I can go up and have a look at that. But they also open up their brewery once a month for Brewski as well, so you can go in and drink some of the Brewski beers straight out of the brewery, which is quite exciting. I do need to keep an eye on the Facebook page and go up and check that out at some point. Helsingborg of course is a town that I really quite like. Maybe I'll live there at some point, who knows. But yeah, a really good brewery. If you want to try some good Swedish beers, Brewski are a very good place to start of course. And they are a Skåne beer, a Skånsk beer, however you want to describe it. But yeah, they do some really good stuff, so I highly recommend you check these guys out if you get the chance. But yeah, just to tell you a little bit about the beer itself, as I mentioned to you, it's an 11.5% Imperial Stout, and this one is a tribute to dogs. So yeah, it says on the side here, in life there are very few things as uplifting as the love of a dog. To honour this amazing bond, we decided to brew an oatmeal stout that uses heartwarming ingredients such as cocoa and vanilla to humbly try and transmit the feeling of when you're walking around and get stamped on the back of your leg with that moist, juicy snout that catches you off guard, and 11 times out of 10 brings a big smile to your face. Enjoy this accompanied with your furry friend or honouring one or several who brought you joy at some point. Woof. So yeah, quite like that actually. I'm a big dog man myself actually. I love German Shepherds of course, so hopefully I can get one of those when I have my own place and stuff in the future. But there you can see, nice little bit of artwork on this one. It actually does remind me of my aunt and uncle's German Shepherd with that kind of manic look on his face. But nice bit of artwork on this one, as you always get from Brewski. There's the standard Brewski bottle cap on this one of course, and of course this is the symbol of the Brewski Brewery, this little guy with the top hat and the moustache and eyeglass and things. It always gives me a bit of a smile when I see that too. But this one is best before the 12th of January 2022, so this one would last for about 5 years if you wanted to age it. But you know, my curiosity got the better of me with this. As I say, it's the first Imperial Stout I've ever come across from Brewski. But let's get it out and we'll get on with the tasting then. So yeah, nice smoky opening there, and we'll get it out and into the glass. And I tell you something, you can smell the vanilla off that right away. as you open it up. It's got a lovely vanilla note coming off this. I have to admit, I love sweet stouts. When it comes to the Imperial Stout, I like all of them pretty much, but sweet stouts, vanilla stouts and things like this, milk stouts, they are the ones that really hit the spot for me. But this one should be quite interesting. So, you know, as you can see and as you would expect from an Imperial Stout, this guy's poured a really dark ebony rosewood colour. There's no transparency to this one at all, it just really is quite dark. There's a little bit of a kind of reddy character, a sort of, how do you say, a kind of ruby edge to this one, but there's a solid finger of a frothy, very dark, beigey tan head to this one. It looks very nice. There's one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and just a few of them going up towards the bottom of that head there, but overall it does look very nice. So let's take a closer look at the aroma of this one then. Oh, that's quite nice. That's a really nice smelling beer. Yeah, so it's interesting because it's got a nice hoppy earthiness to it. This one's got a really interesting balance between the roasty side of things, the sort of roasted black malts, and the earthy hops on one hand, and then you've got a lot of sweetness coming out of it as well. Yeah, no, the vanilla's coming out straight away. You can smell some of the oatmeal on this as well. There's a lot of nice kind of dark chocolate. It's maybe even got a little bit of a licoricey character to it as well. Of course, the Swedes absolutely love their licorice. There's no getting away from that. Pretty much any Imperial Stout that you get in Sweden will have a little bit of a licorice flavour to it. But yeah, I like the aroma coming off of this one. So the vanilla's definitely in there. It's got this lovely kind of milky, chocolatey vanilla sort of thing going on. Definitely some kind of toasted brown sugars in there, and almost caramelly character from this one. Not sure if it's quite treacle molasses. It does smell a little bit lighter. There's maybe a little bit of a woody, almost nutty character mixing in there too, which is quite interesting. But yeah, a good little bit of earthy hop. Maybe just a wee tiny bit of a kind of red fruity character as well. Of course, when you have dark chocolate, it's that same sort of thing. You get that little bit of an almost red fruity ester coming off it. It's more of a figgy sort of thing that's coming out of this one too, but that's very minimal. The most prominent parts of the aroma for me are the vanilla, the oatmeal, and the earthy hops, and the kind of chocolatey thing. You know, it's got a very solid backbone, which is exactly what you would expect from an Imperial Stout. When you sugar it up, you start to get more of the earthiness and the kind of roasted black malt bitter things coming out of it. So yeah, it's a bit sweeter when you let it settle, but when you sugar it up, it gets a little bit kind of more bitter, earthy sort of thing. So yeah, it smells like a really interesting beer. But let's get stuck into this one then. So this one is the Snout juice from Brewski Microbrewery up in Helsingborg here in Skåne in southern Sweden. The toasted dogs, of course. Like I say, I'm a big German Shepherd man myself, and of course there is the little guy upstairs, Shell, who you'll probably hear in some of the videos. He's a wee border terrier, a mad little thing. But yeah, let's get stuck into this beer. Snout juice. Skål. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice beer. You know, they've done a good job on this, and as I said, I was really interested to try this beer just because it's the first Imperial Stout I've come across from Brewski, and they've done a great job with it. You know, on one sip you can tell this is a good quality beer. As I always say with these darker styles of beer, make sure you sugar them around your mouth and just let the whole kind of palate adjust to the beer before you start analysing the flavour too much. The one question though, even with just a couple of sips of this beer, is if Brewski can brew Imperial Stouts like this, why do they not do it a bit more often? You know, it's me playing devil's advocate with them a bit, because they do what they do very well, but I would want to know why they don't brew the darker beers a little bit more often than they do, because they're obviously very capable of doing it. Just a thing. But this is nice. I do like how this comes across. It's actually a very smooth and very silky style. That's the thing you're going to notice for this one. But yeah, really nice tasting beer this. So, as you would expect from the Imperial Stout in this one, you've got some really nice kind of roasty black malty characters just underpinning the beer. And that starts to come out a bit more in the aftertaste. As you progress further and further into the aftertaste, you get a little bit more of these kind of roasted black malty bitter characteristics just coming out of the beer, and that comes across really nicely actually. when you have the actual liquid on your tongue and things like that, it's a lot sweeter. There's a big oily character to this one. The oatmeal's coming out very nicely, and it's very smooth as well. Actually, I love how it's coming across in this beer. Yeah, there's a lot of nice chocolate in this one as well. It's not quite as licoricey. This is maybe the first Imperial Stout that I've had from Sweden that doesn't have so much of a licorice element to it, which is quite interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of chocolate in this one. It's somewhere between milky and dark chocolate. The vanilla that comes out in the beer, you can feel the vanilla right in the middle of your palate. The vanilla does give the beer a little bit of that almost milky kind of character, and it makes the chocolate seem a little bit more like a sort of milk chocolate. But there's a lot of dark chocolate in there as well, and that mixes quite well with the roasty black elements that you're getting to this beer. But yeah, Brewski, once again, they've done a really good job with this. The hops on this beer are interesting too. There's a very smooth earthiness to this one, right around the edge of your palate. It's all earthy, so there's a little bit of bitterness in the back corners of the palate. As you come further forward, you can feel it smoothing out, and there's maybe a tiny little bit of bitterness on at the very front of your tongue too, but that's what you would expect from an Imperial Stout, just a kind of pure earthy sort of hoppy character to this one. There's a good little bit of red fruit in here as well. If you just go behind the very front curve of your palate, you'll feel that little oily bubble where the fruity characters always come out, and you can feel in this one, it's a sort of raisiny or maybe even slightly plummy thing that's coming out of this. Yeah, to me, the fruity characters of this one, they have maybe a little bit of sharpness. I think it's sort of raisins and plums that are coming out of this one, and that goes quite well, and you can just feel underneath that, once that fruity character dissipates, as you move further into the aftertaste, the fruity character becomes a little bit more kind of candied, like these little Haribo heart-shaped sweets in the Star Mix that I always talk about. It becomes a little bit more like that, but then you can feel the roasty bitter character just pushing its way out a little bit more, and the vanilla, I think, starts to come out a wee bit more in the aftertaste too. But I like how this one goes together. The malt base has a good bit of complexity. The roasted black malts there are underpinning it. You can feel the sort of oatmeal-y character. It's almost a little bit bready actually, but then as I say, if you progress further into the aftertaste, you get more of these roasty bitter characters out of it. There's a lot of chocolate. There's a bit of brown sugar in there as well, the sort of dark treacle molasses kind of thing, and then the vanilla and the milky sort of chocolate and the dark chocolate elements to this beer too are really quite interesting. I like how this whole beer kind of blends together, and as I say, my one complaint would be that when Brewski can brew Imperial Stouts like this, it's that they don't do it often enough. So yeah, Brewski, you guys need to be brewing more dark beers, I think, because you do it very well. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have expected anything less from these guys. I know, as I say, they focus mainly on IPAs and fruit beers and stuff like that, but they've just proven to me that they can do a really nice Imperial Stout as well. So I will keep an eye out for more of these. And like I say, this is only their third or fourth one, I think, that they've actually released. So hopefully there are more to come in the near future. And if they expand their brewery and stuff a little bit, I'm sure we will see more of these. But yeah, the Snout juice from Brewski is damn good beer, so if you get the chance, have a go at this one. The interesting point about this was that on Rate Beer it had 96 overall, but I think it only had like 47 or something within the style. I have to admit, I don't understand that. It's a very solid Imperial Stout. You know, it's a good beer. I don't get why it would be so lowly rated in the style. To me, that doesn't make sense. But then again, as I always say, you shouldn't take Rate Beer as the gospel word of beer. Of course, it can be a good barometer. But I guess some things get really weird ratings on there, and for me, to say this is only 46 within the Imperial Stout category, I don't understand that at all. It's a damn good beer, so try it if you get the chance. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I would say it's probably mid to full bodied. It's not the heaviest Imperial Stout I've come across. It's actually really quite drinkable. There's not too much in the way of alcohol warmth coming for this one. For 11.5%, this is a dangerously drinkable beer, but it's got the nice smooth carbonation, so it's a big oily mouthfeel more than anything. So yeah, it really is a kind of nice big oily mouthfeel, this one. Like I said, there's a good balance between sort of roasty, bitter elements of the malt base and the slightly sweeter, more syrupy kind of things. The syrupy character really helps bring out the chocolate and the vanilla and a bit of the oatmeal as well, to be honest. The hops are very, very smooth. There's not a lot of bitterness from this beer at all. It is mainly a smooth hoppiness to this one, and there's a little bit of a juicy red fruity character as well. But yeah, to me this is a really quite nice beer, and as I said, the only thing I would want to know is why Brewski don't brew Imperial Stouts a bit more often if they can do them like this. For me, it's a very, very solid beer. Is it the best Brewski beer I've had? That's kind of difficult to say, because they do some really awesome stuff, and probably my favourite beer I've had from these guys so far was the Conan double IPA. So this one to me is a really nice Imperial Stout that I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. But I like it. It's good. If you get the chance to try it, have a go and see what you think. And it's really cool to see that they're starting to experiment a little bit more, hopefully, with the darker side of things. So yeah, it's been really cool to review this one from Brewski. As I say, it's a brewery that I always enjoy trying stuff from. So if you get the chance to try some of these beers, I highly recommend you do. But yeah, thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. It's always great to hear from you guys, of course. But until the next time, slange just now. The Snout juice, a really nice oatmeal and vanilla Imperial Stout from Brewski, and it does have a little bit of warmth to it. I can see it's a tribute to dogs. If you love dogs, you know, buy this beer. It would have been cool actually for them to kind of do something like this and maybe give to a dog charity as well. So maybe they'll do that in the future. But another really nice beer from Brewski I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink again. So until the next time, it's Slange just now, and I will catch you guys very soon. Skål. Make sure you try some of the Brewski beers, and in particular this one if you get the chance. Conan double IPA is also a really good bet. Cheers.